cool.
Check. 1 2 1 2.
Can you hear me?
Check.
Check. All right, I think we're good.
Okay. So, my name's Alex.
I am Sid.
That's it. I'm Alex. So we are. We don't know what we want to name this podcast. We are between two guys, two mics, which I just got off the phone with my boss, and
Definitely think that's going to be the name.
yeah, I think so too. So I just got off the phone with my boss, and she was like, that sounds like Two Girls, One Cup. And I've seen the video.
Real quick, I'm going to interrupt. Anyone listening, just buckle up. I mean, if you're already, if you're already going to start being a little sensitive at Two Girls, One Cup, then
I think we're good. I think the audience that we're going for appreciate Two Girls, One Cup. Even
you ever actually watched that video?
Yes, I watched that video. That video is
Not pleasant.
It's not my favorite cinema to kind of sit down and drink some wine to.
Oh, but you definitely watch it though.
I mean, a couple times.
Is it part of your collection?
You just gotta watch it to kind of like learn. You know what I mean? Learn
you probably have like the vintage VHS copy of it.
Vintage. I have this vinyl of the auto recording of the actual video.
There you go.
It's pretty cool. Just put it on the what do they call them? The vinyl. What is
record
it?
player?
Wow.
Did you just forget the word record player?
I forgot the word record player.
All right.
But but you put that audio on a nice record player. Pour yourself some Southern Comfort. I said wine before, but you know what? I feel like Southern Comfort just kind of does a little bit better for that. So, Two Girls, One Cup. No. So we were recording before this, and then my boss called me, and then I realized
we found out our SD card wasn't working.
We didn't have a micro SD card.
Yes. So before this, we revealed that this weekend we actually got together and we watched a movie called Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Best movie of all time.
If you have not seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, it is on Disney Plus, and I strongly suggest going to watch it.
Yes. We are not. Oh, well, that's a disclaimer. We are not sponsored by Disney Plus.
No, of course not. But
I don't care if you go and watch it.
If you ever want to sponsor us, Disney, I mean,
honestly,
I think we'd be always willing to accept
I'd be willing to be sponsored by Disney.
So, if you haven't seen Mr. Fantastic Fox and you plan on watching it, skip forward for spoilers.
Yes, because we're going to spoil it. Because my favorite... Okay, we were talking about there's a scene where they're in, like, the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox, he's
a fox.
He's a fox. He's portrayed as a fox, but is, like, civilized.
Right.
Kind of. Because there's still some parts where they kind of, like... I don't know.
Show them as wild animals.
Yeah, show them as wild animals, but then there's parts where they're just like civilized. Like there's the scene where his wife makes him like this, like I think it's like French toast. I think it's French toast. That's what I thought.
But it was definitely like a breakfast food.
And
he just scarves it down like
and he like growls at it and he like tears it apart, and then he gets up, sips his coffee, and then he leaves for work.
And then he just stand up and he says that like breakfast was wonderful and leaves.
His son is my favorite character though.
Awesome movie though, man. And like the scene we were talking about earlier with the pine cones.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's definitely an awesome scene. And like it feels like one of those movies that is definitely something that everyone should see.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Because I was talking about how, like, I saw it in high school, and I randomly just came across it on, like, a cable channel, and that was, like, the first time I ever saw it, and I was like, this movie is sarcastically so funny that, like, why wouldn't anybody else want to watch this?
Right.
And then when I asked people, I was like, have you seen Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Fox? And they're like, no. And I'm like, why? Why are you uncultured swine?
I think another movie like that is Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of... Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen it. I'm going to have to see it. I'm going to put it in my notes.
I can't remember if it was originally a musical and then it was made into a movie, or if it was the other way around.
Okay. What's the premise behind it?
So this dude named Seymour
Already love it.
Gets this plant from this shop, and
What
he's
is it
trying
called again? Sorry,
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. I'm putting my notes. Continue.
It's an old 80s movie. Probably earlier than that, actually. I bet it's way earlier than that. You should actually look up when Little Shop of Horrors, the movie, came out.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, it's a musical about this. I'm trying not to say so much, but
It
just
happens,
thinking.
man.
It's a musical about Seymour, and he gets this plant that starts to come to life, and he finds out that he has to feed it humans in order for it to stay alive. But this plant's making him famous all across the country because it's like a miracle plant.
Okay.
And super good classic like home movie. Like my dad grew up, they had a VCR and they only had like 4 movies, and like that was one of the 4 movies they owned type of thing.
Dude, it's on Hulu, but it's a premium prescription.
Yeah, I know it's on HBO Max as well.
I'm gonna have to watch it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I see. Okay.
Yeah, what year did that actually come out?
1986.
Okay, so yeah, late 80s is what I thought.
So, I know this guy. This guy was in Ghostbusters.
Yep.
He was and John Candy is in here?
Yep.
Dude, oh wait. Oh, what's his name? Steve. What's his name? It's Steven something. Here, I'll look up the cast. He was in like Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah. He plays
Stephen Martin.
Stephen Martin. He plays the biker dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Great movie. Really, it is a great movie, and I strongly suggest. I think that's another movie that's kind of on the list of like everyone needs to see this movie eventually.
I think so too. And also, these guys' hairstyles are amazing. Stephen Martin, like, he's going for like a greaser, but like a messy greaser look.
He plays
You said a biker.
It's a biker, but he's actually a dentist, and he's insane. And he loves inflicting pain on people. And every time before he does his dental surgery, he inhales the laughing gas, but doesn't give it to his patients because he thinks it's funny how much pain he inflicts on them. It's actually a super fucked up, like,
I was
part
about
of the
to
movie.
say,
Yeah.
this sounds like a fucking...
Dude,
like,
it's kind of a fucked up movie all around, but, like, again, great movie just in general.
dude, have you ever seen the movie Charlie Bartlett?
No.
You have to watch that movie. Charlie Bartlett is amazing.
What's it about?
Okay, so I'm about to look it up so I can have a better description. It's a movie that was made in like 2007. Me and my mom came across this one.
Okay.
I think we just like ordered it on demand or something like that. The actor that played the main character is dead now, and he was young, and he still is. I think he would be still considered to be young. Is he still dead? I swear to God he died. Yeah, he died in 2016. But so it's about this kid who. So he's an awkward teenager. Charlie Bartlett has trouble fitting in at a new high school. Charlie needs some friends fast and decides the best way to find them is to appoint him their physician. Or no, not their physician, their psychiatrist.
Okay.
And he becomes one of the most popular guys in schools by doing it. So what he does is like he first would like the way that they have it in the beginning is that he's at like a private school, like a really high-end private school, and he was making fake IDs.
Okay.
For these people because he wanted to fit in. So
Right.
it's like this. It's the premise of why he's going to a public school now. But like in the beginning, it kind of shows that. And so, but he was making like good IDs. Like his mom. That's why it's such a good movie because his mom is a character, but she's in the principal's office with the dean or the principal. He was in the principal's office with the principal, but clearly, obviously, but he like explains to her like he's making fake IDs and she picks one up. She's like, you got to admit these are authentic though. But then he gets kicked out of like going to any other private school. So the mom's like, just go to public school. And so he goes to a psychiatrist,
Mm-hmm.
and the psychiatrist says that he has ADHD because of like I don't know why. I still don't know why. Like why he prescribed him or like diagnosed him with ADHD because it just didn't make any sense to me the way he was acting. But so then they get him on Ritalin, and there's one scene where his mom's like super rich.
Okay.
So they have like this huge house, and he takes his Ritalin, and all of a sudden he's wired, like he's doing all his homework like really fast. Like that's what Ritalin does. It makes you like hyper focused.
Right.
So he's doing his homework, not listening to his mother babble on about something. And then there's another scene where he's running around the house because it's also a stimulant. So he's like hyped up, and he's running around the house going crazy. And then there's one point where he like breaks out of the house and he's just running down the middle of the street naked. And so a cop finds him and brings him there. And that's when he like, I don't know, he was an awkward teen. He just didn't know what to do with his life because he was taken out of school. And then when he goes to public school, he finds out that these kids, like the way that he can kind of connect with them more is to like heal them in a way. But he was being their psychiatrist, not their therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't just talking to these people. He would talk to them, go to his psychiatrist, tell him what the problems were, and then he would prescribe him medication. So he would take this medication and he would give them to these kids. He would sell it to these kids.
Really?
So he was making money off of being being a travel psychiatrist on a school psychiatrist, I guess.
Right.
But he was doing everything illegal. And what's crazy is how much trouble he didn't get in. Like he should have been arrested.
Right.
Because
definitely should have been for selling drugs to kids, from what I understand.
He was selling prescribed drugs to kids, and he got off with a slap on the wrist.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's another amazing scene. So he hires this like bully kid to kind of be his like bodyguard.
Right.
And or wait, was it the bully kid or was it actually no. There was there was this big kind of like special needs character.
Okay.
Who wasn't like all socially there, but Charlie Bartlett, Charlie Bartlett's just a cool, like, I don't know, he was a cool kid, and he just like befriended this guy.
Broke through his shell,
essentially. Broke through his shell. And I don't want to say he used him, but he kind of did. He used him as like a bodyguard because he had strength that he didn't know, and so like he would be able to like rustle up people, and that's how he got him to like rustle up, but like ruffle up, I guess. Is that the right term? I don't know. He rough shake up, like rough up. Wow, rough up. I'm stupid. It's fine. But he like roughs up this bully kid to do business with him because he knows how much control he has. But there's one like in the scene, they're in this like Charlie Bartlett's like limousine or like drive around car because he has a driver, and the bully kid lights a cigarette, and all of a sudden you see the special needs kid. He just like waves his hand in front of his face. I wish we were recording this so I could see it, but like it was just, I don't know why, just that small little scene where it shows him doing that. I just love that in movies because it's those small little scenes. I think that like kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say make a movie good, but it just like, I don't know, it just adds a little bit of more humor, especially if you're trying to make a funny movie. Just those little types of scenes, I think, could make a difference of like people remembering the movie.
I definitely agree.
But the main character, he died of like
I can't think of any movies.
Overdose.
Like small scenes in movies. I'm sure I'll come up with something a bit later on. But
I could. You ever seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Yes, fucking love that movie.
Scott Pilgrim, the scene where like the girlfriend comes over and his like gay roommate answers, and she's like, "Is Scott here?" And you just see him in the back jump out the window, and he's just like, he just left. Like,
yeah, that was a really good small like addition to the movie. That whole movie was really good.
Oh yeah. Michael
just showed that
Cera?
movie recently. Michael Cera.
Sarah.
Just showed that movie recently to my girlfriend and dad, and she was over for a couple days during the summer while I was back home.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great movie, dude. Like, Michael Cera does really good in that. I think all of the cast, I mean, they got some big names. They got Chris Evans in there, which I don't know if at the time he was near as big as he is now. But, I mean, regardless, they did really well in that movie, especially compared to the comics. It wasn't exact, but for what it was a good movie. Yeah.
I think the way that they portrayed it was just entertaining.
Right.
Whether it was, like, kind of onto the, I don't know, comics or not. I think that's, like, the whole thing. Like, a lot of people kind of want the comics to be... My watch is telling me to breathe. Like, superhero movies, there's, like... I feel like there's, like, a split between audiences, I guess, because there's people that, like, want the comic books to be kind of really portrayed in these movies. But, like... I think there's also an audience that just, like, wants to see an awesome-ass movie. Right. So you're going to have, like, they're going to want to cater towards the audience that has already, like, I don't know, like, it's a weird kind of split because I just I like a movie if it's good or not. Right. Like, whether it's, like, original or not. Like, I'm not really, like, a comic buff, I guess. I really like superheroes.
You know that I am.
Yeah, and so, I know, like, that you are.
I think my thing on it is that with so many years and so much history in the comics, it's possible to do both. It's definitely possible to make a movie that is both accurate to the comics and an epic action movie or an epic superhero movie. I like what they did with all the Marvel movies. And while they weren't exact to the comics, I didn't care. I mean, I know a lot of people who got upset with it. I still think that Infinity War is a better movie than Endgame, and you can argue with me that all day. That's just my personal preference on that.
Well, what's your, like, what do you think? What do you think about that movie's better?
Endgame to me felt very much like it was trying to be a nice bow on this 10-year universe that we've had. Infinity War felt like it was trying to be the odd man out in all of that. It ended with the supervillain winning.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just start with that. Like, spoilers if you haven't seen it at this point. It's been years, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too worried about it. Fantastic Mr. Fox was different because I think that's kind of less of a everyone has seen it movie. I feel like Infinity War is very known.
Very much mainstream.
Infinity War was a better movie to me because, one, with Thanos winning at the end, it really did add a idea of tenseness to it. Because, we knew Endgame was coming. We knew that eventually it would all work itself out and whatever. And if you were a fan of the comics, you probably had a couple of theories on what actually happened. And, but it just, I don't know. Infinity War altogether felt like a more consistent and strong movie. I very strongly disagree with what they did in Thor and Endgame. That's just a personal... I don't like the whole fat Thor. I get what they were going for with him being upset about like what happened in Infinity War, and I get that. But I feel like for the first time ever between Ragnarok and Infinity War, we had a consistent version of Thor.
So, like, what about, like, before that, then?
Well, before that, if you think about it, every time we had seen Thor, he was different somehow. The first Thor, he was very, I'm too good for this. I'm high and mighty. I'm a god, whatever.
Yeah.
The second Thor, it was very dark and brooding, and I might be getting those two mixed up, but because I haven't seen them in forever, but I do remember, I think the second one was the Cold Planet.
I think so, yeah.
Dark World.
Thor
Dark World.
Yeah.
And they made it all about the ice giants, if I remember right. And it was the first one that showed the Reality Stone.
Yeah.
It was in a liquid.
Yeah.
Very serious, very dark toned movie.
Okay.
Then Ragnarok came along and we had a very light tone movie because it's almost like Marvel actually realized that oh god, why can't I remember his name all of a sudden?
Who?
Thor actor.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth, yes. they actually realized he can be funny.
Yeah.
And he actually does a good job in Ragnarok. I think he does a
yeah.
really good job. But up till that point, we had never had a consistent version of Thor.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Between Ragnarok and Infinity War, he stayed the same.
Yeah.
Like, he was the same character between those two movies. And then we went into Endgame, and we had another different version of Thor.
Yeah,
which feels wrong because it definitely feels like they hit the mark with Ragnarok. I mean, Ragnarok's easily one of my favorite Marvel movies.
I like it. I like the relationship. I like the fact that we got to see Hulk back, and it was like I feel like it's a different version of Hulk, where it was just Hulk all the time and not Bruce Banner and Hulk, where it was them fighting over like control over his body.
Least until,
I guess
halfway into the movie, I think.
Yeah, I think it was
kind of started that.
It was. I'm trying to think of what. Yeah, why was it he changed? Because I remember I totally forgot why he changed.
Thor. I believe it had something to do with Thor essentially got him to
the ship. And then and then he heard
Black
Widow's voice, and that's what kind of like woke him up, and then he started like I think arguing with like it was Bruce Banner and Hulk arguing inside of the body.
I don't remember, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I should watch that movie again.
Yeah. I'm low-key. I low-key want to refresh myself on it. But
we'll have to do that. Anyway, back to the original conversation though. I just Infinity War to me is a much better cinematic experience than Endgame. And I understand what Endgame was supposed to be. Endgame is supposed to be the end. And it's in the title. It's clearly what the movie is supposed to be. I think Infinity War just was better.
I think like cinematically, Endgame was satisfying. Because like I mean you just saw your heroes come back from a horrible defeat. And I think I think Infinity War and Endgame just go together because of the fact that Infinity War was filmed so that they would lose, so that when Endgame came it was more of a hype.
Right. I completely agree.
Because I mean the scene where it was just like Captain, Thor, Iron Man, Ant-Man, I believe as well. They were just fighting, or I don't even think it was Ant-Man. I think it was just Captain, Iron Man, and Thor. They were fighting Thanos, and then
he had his double-bladed sword.
Then when what was it? When Captain America he got his ass handed to him, and he was thrown across, and then he gets up. And then
Sam on the left.
Oh god, that's a beautiful scene.
Right.
Like just cinematic. Like I think cinematically they made a lot of scenes that like
fan service.
Yeah, it was pretty much fan service, which is fine.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that, especially after you have 10 years of history just in the movies, let alone, I mean, 50, 60 years in the comics, probably more than that.
Oh yeah.
I think what started in the 50s. I think Marvel did. I wrote a paper on this not too long ago. No, man, I think it's impossible to have Infinity War without having Endgame. Yeah. I think those two movies are essentially one movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
there's
that they were
in between them, and there's movies in between them. I wish they would have done the whole Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 thing that they originally talked about, where it really would be just one movie. But I'm glad they didn't. I think they... Kevin Feige definitely knows how to run the whole Marvel universe, movie-wise.
At this point, yeah, with how many movies have dropped in the Marvel universe.
Right.
Like, I mean, and I think that also, like, the whole debate between, like, DC versus Marvel in the movie realm is that, like, DC or Marvel created, like, so many movies and so many, like, origin stories for superheroes that when they came up with the Avengers, like they had a lot to go on, whereas like DC kind of just like went all in with Justice League.
Right. I think Marvel did a very good job of spacing things out, especially early on.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we had 2 Iron Man movies before we even had the first team-up movie with any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right about that, right? We had 2 Iron Man movies before we had Avengers. I think Iron Man 2 came out right before Avengers came out. because Iron Man 2 was the demon in a bottle storyline.
Yeah.
With his alcoholism.
When did Iron Man 2 come out?
Or was that Iron Man 3? No, because Iron Man 3 was the Mandarin, but they fucked that up. So
Iron Man 2 came out in 2010.
Okay.
Iron Man 3 came out in 2013. Avengers. Oh, that's Endgame.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first Avengers was either end of 2010 or beginning of 2011, or like mid 2011.
2012.
Really?
Yep, the Avengers 2012. So, yeah, the second one came out before.
Gotcha.
And then Iron Man 3 came out the year after.
Right.
Wait, let's see how many. Sorry.
I think there's one.
Thor came out the year before Avengers.
Right.
Well, let's see. The Incredible Hulk came out.
Right, but the Incredible Hulk, I didn't think they actually considered
Yeah.
canon.
It was still like by Marvel Studios, but I don't
Right.
think it would be considered canon because I don't really.
Because
they didn't even use
is that where Edward Norton plays?
Yeah.
You know, man, that wasn't really a bad movie either. I don't know if you ever watched it. Abomination was pretty cool. And I remember going to see that in theaters. I was a kid. My dad had taken me, and we were sitting in this theater, and the power went out halfway through our movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought all these people from all the other theaters into our theater because our theater was the only one that had power left.
Yeah.
So you had people standing up on the stairs and everything, like just waiting for power to come back, and we were just all watching Incredible Hulk. I don't know why our theater was the only one that had power. We asked later on, and I guess it's had something to do with they were running generators in specific theaters, I guess. So I don't know if we were the only one with power, but like, yeah, I just have a really vivid memory of specifically the Incredible Hulk, just having a ton of people standing in this theater with us until they got power back. Remember, they had to stop our movie halfway through though and tell us like what was going on, and it was cool. It was a different experience, especially, you know, working at a movie theater for as long as I did. We never had anything like that happen, so it was kind of like a weird experience. I experienced a lot working at the theater, man. I did a lot.
What'd you experience?
Very close with the manager, so like I got to do things that I probably shouldn't have as a normal employee.
Like what?
Okay, so I guess we're getting into this now. I worked in the downstairs for a long time, and I'll explain exactly what I mean by that here in a minute. But
the basement?
No, so by downstairs I mean I did like cleaning the theaters.
Okay, so like the lobby.
Concessions. Basically they had a name for every station. Mm-hmm. You had box office, you had main, which was concessions, and you had floor staff, which was like cleaning up all the theaters. Mm-hmm. Then you had your projectionist, who was actually the person that worked upstairs and like cleaned up the theaters and whatnot. Or not cleaned up the theaters, ran the projection.
Yeah.
So eventually projection became pointless.
Okay.
Because they replaced it with like automation and shit like that. But I actually trained up there for a long time and did work up there for a long time. So whenever I say I worked upstairs, I mean projection. Whenever I say downstairs, I was doing like box office or something.
Yeah.
I worked there for a long time. We had a lot of different experiences. Caught a lot of people doing the deed in the theater, especially working upstairs. Like
how? Like what? Is there like protocol for that, or do y'all just like let it happen?
There is, and that's the sad part is there is actually specific things that we have to do. And this is gonna sound crazy. At least this is what we were taught to do.
Yeah.
So if you're in projection, whenever you catch it, you have to stay by the theater. Obviously, you're not looking down at these people doing their own thing. That's weird.
Having video evidence.
I mean, it's weird. It's weird that they're doing it in the theater in the first place. Never, ever. I'm just going to go off on a tangent real quick. Please never do the deed in a movie theater. I don't think you guys understand how gross it really is in there. And I'm not saying don't go see movies because, like, we clean it enough for that. But to
Wait.
put your naked body up against one of those movie theater seats is easily one of the grossest things I think you could do.
That reminds me of. Do you know who Dane Cook is?
No, I can't say I do.
Oh my Lanta. Okay, Dane Cook is such a funny comedian, but like I don't know, he's looked at in the comedian world as this like obnoxious kind of like flamboyant type of comedian.
So kind of like a Bo Burnham or John Mulaney type of
Yeah, very much. And so he talks about like doing like if you're ever at a movie theater and he's like it's only like a once in a lifetime type of opportunity.
No, just
no. Wait. So he's like, if you're ever sitting in a seat and you hear somebody like behind you or next to you, just be like, oh, these floors are so sticky. You just turn around and you just be, sorry, I just came. But that just reminded me of that.
Oh, no.
Because if you're naked, okay. Was it in like not crowded theaters?
No.
Were there other people in there? Or was it just like those like.
Sometimes. So, okay. It was weird though, man. Like we would find things. I remember we had an employee get caught doing the deed in one of the theaters. Oh man, 4th row of Theater 12. I don't know why I just remember that so vividly, but
you got a flashback?
Dude, we had to have someone walk in there and tap them on the shoulder and tell them to stop. Yeah, it was bad.
Who did that? I want to know the guy that.
Damn, I don't.
Did you guys
remember,
rock, paper,
honestly.
scissors for that? Because I don't think anybody would volunteer.
No,
to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go tap on
was,
their shoulder.
No, because it wasn't a busy day, so I don't really think there was enough people where it was something where we had to like rock, paper, scissors. I'm pretty sure one of the managers just told an employee, like, you gotta go stop these guys. I'm sorry.
I want to actually like Loki. I think the manager should have done it because you know how like
they might have. Now that I think about it, I really don't remember.
Because I was gonna say like just imagine. I don't know. I feel like he would like they would shit themselves. Like if their manager or I mean, was it both employees? Were they both employees or was it just one?
Just the guy.
Okay, well if the guy like if I was the guy and I decided that I was gonna fuck my girl in a movie theater. Like, and my boss taps me on the shoulder, I'm shitting myself right there. Like,
you instantly know you just lost your job.
You either did, like, so did he lose his job?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how they run it.
No, he got fired. He got fired pretty quickly. You know, honestly, dude, they never really fired people for just about anything, actually.
I'm glad that they, like, drew the line at fucking your girlfriend.
Well, and it was weird, though, because we had one girl. Obviously I won't say names or anything. We'll just call her Jessica. Okay. So Jessica was notorious at our theater for, we will call her the maiden.
Okay, you know what? I like that.
We'll call her the maiden of the theater.
More elegant, yet still portrays the same.
I remember she had this boyfriend who was working outside of the theater.
Like
didn't work at the theater.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant he was outside selling tacos or something.
No, I guess it was important that he doesn't work at the theater because, like, she would bring this dude in to go see movies during, like, really busy nights. And of course, we always got in free, so it was like, whatever. Man, I remember she walked out one time with her entire neck black and blue. We're super busy tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like, I remember it was a night that we were packed. We had a lot of nights like that. So I worked at like a big theater, so it wasn't uncommon for us to be like super busy.
Yeah.
Which I'll go more in depth in that in a minute. But yeah, I just remember this girl walking out of this theater. I mean, neck just covered,
like
scratch marks down her arms. Like, dude, it was pretty clear. Yeah.
What? Scratch marks down her arm? Does this boy cut his nails?
I don't know. Dude, I really couldn't tell you, but it was so weird to see someone walk out of a movie theater.
Who's into arm scratching? Like,
right?
I'm not gonna. You have your fetishes, but like, who's into arm scratching? Yo, can you scratch my arms?
Ooh. You like that?
Yeah, I love when you.
Okay, so Yeah, man. I mean, but working in the movie theater for a long time, I saw a lot. I learned a lot. Um, people get upset about movie theater prices. Let's just be honest for a minute. People get upset about movie theater prices, and I'm going to tell everyone listening right now, do not take it out on the employees because there is nothing we can do.
Okay, my whole thing is food, bro. Why is the food
okay.
so expensive? The popcorn, bro,
right.
is
I'll explain because there is a legitimate reason for it, and while maybe it's not a great reason, there's a reason.
Call it a reason. Let's not call it a legitimate reason.
No, because it kind of is. The movie theaters don't actually make much money from our tickets at all.
Okay.
I think it's like less than 10% for the first 3 months off movie tickets.
So do they make most of their money off of food then?
Right. I mean, if they can make a bag of popcorn for 6 cents and sell it to you for, $8,
so
how much profit are they making? They have to be able to run their theater, especially a theater that was our size. I mean, we had 18 screens.
Yeah. So that's a big theater.
Right. I mean, we had an IMAX.
Yeah.
So like we dealt with thousands and thousands of people a day, even on a non-busy day. So while our prices were expensive, they had to be. I mean, we had to be able to afford labor. $15 base tickets.
So they're not making money off of $15 tickets a person.
I don't know if they are off of $15.
So okay, so then when you were working,
right? Whenever I worked, the base was $8.25.
Okay.
For a ticket or something like that.
Okay.
That was during like non-matinee hours.
Yeah.
I mean, we had times where we had $3 tickets.
Okay. Yeah.
Just depending on when you came in. If you came in during the busy night, like say you came in at Friday night at 7:00, like that's a normal date night. I'd say depending on the movie and depending on which theater you were going into, for 2 tickets, you'd probably end up spending between $18 and $22.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't seem unreasonable to me, thinking about back then what the theater prices were. Because I think an IMAX ticket for a 3D IMAX movie was $15.
Yeah.
And that's $3 more than if it's not 3D.
Okay.
So it's $12 if it's just a normal IMAX movie.
Okay.
So $24 for 2 tickets if you don't include tax.
So $24 for tickets, and then a large popcorn. Would probably run you like
large popcorn, large drink. Say you just got a couples combo. Man, I remember that easily being $14 or $15, something like that.
So we're looking at a $38 date night.
Right, $40 for a date night, which isn't awful,
actually.
But then you're also thinking about the fact that you guys probably went out to dinner before that, and
okay, so
everything
then like
else. If you say
depending on where you go,
$30 for dinner, $15 a plate, with drinks and everything. I don't think that's.
So I
too
feel like
unreasonable.
I'm gonna say like 45 for dinner then.
Okay.
So now you're looking at an $83 day,
Right.
$83 date night,
and that's getting a bit.
I mean, yeah,
up there. At least for me.
I mean, for me, I spent $200 on Magic tickets or Magic
Right.
cards. So like, I mean,
Broke as fuck.
right? I'm broke as shit because I just love playing Magic. I want to get another deck. I don't know what I want to get, but I want to get another
Just
deck.
built my new one. What else happened to me working at the theater though?
Yeah, let's hear more
Curious if
theater stories.
I'm thinking about. So okay, I remember one time when 50 Shades of Grey came out. One of the movies.
Okay.
Dude, that was always our busiest day of the year.
50 Shades.
Always our busiest day of the year, which is when 50 Shades, more than Star Wars.
We've got a horny community.
Dude, you don't even know.
We've got some horny humans on this earth.
So worked at this. I worked floor staff for 50 Shades, which was awful, cleaning up after people in that movie, especially whenever you had every seat of the theater full. Don't leave your popcorn behind. There's no reason for it.
They've got garbage cans outside it.
Right. I mean, anyway, we found, I shit you not when I say this, we found a cucumber with lube and a condom on it at the top of the theater. Ooh. And the theater was packed. I just want to point that out. The theater was packed. We had every ticket sold to that movie, which means there wasn't a seat open. So somehow, some way, not going to say whether or not it was a woman or a man. I'm not saying either way. I don't know how people are. But
okay, so I wonder if it was a 2-person job.
I don't know.
Because I mean, like, the condom is what gets me. Why the fuck would you care if you came in a cucumber? And they left it anyways.
Right. Honestly, the condom part was the confusing part to me too. But like,
I mean, the whole thing is kind of confusing, but at this point, it's happened. So let's break
Right.
it down even more. Because I'm saying I'm saying that maybe it had to be a 2-person job. I don't know. I don't like. I'm trying to think how I would do it to cover it up, unless this person was like not covering up, and like the 3 seats next to him were
Dude,
like,
they
what were?
left it there.
That's what I'm saying. So like, it had to be like maybe another person was also like covering them, or they were doing it to him while the first person was covering themselves.
I don't know.
Like, I'm curious now how the cucumber jacker.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I
Come-
don't want to know.
I mean, like, well, I don't want to know,
Right.
but like, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious on like if there was a partner involved. That means there was 2 people that agreed that they were
Take a cucumber.
to take a cucumber. Yep.
there
And
yeah.
did they like I don't know, like did they already like have the cucumber with the condom already in it, kind of wrapped up already? Did they do the whole setup
I don't
there?
know. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's one of those situations where it's so left open for interpretation because
Yeah.
all we did was find it. We didn't see what anybody was
No,
doing.
that's
with
obvious.
It or,
Yeah, that's obvious
I
there.
mean-
That's what makes me even more curious.
So like,
is the story behind you finding a cucumber with a condom in it?
I don't know. Honestly, dude, we just cleaned it up and went about with our day. What else were we gonna do at that point? We knew what movie had come out. Like, we weren't trying to fucking
To debunk what was
right.
going on.
We knew what was gonna happen though, man. It happened every Valentine's Day. Something weird would happen.
Do you remember another time?
Oh, dude, I mean, I can tell you, I can go on for the next half an hour, however long we have.
We got like 20 minutes. Let's go.
Man, I remember one time working upstairs. So okay, I'll start from the beginning. I was actually working downstairs. I was working at the podium. I was the person who greeted people before they went to the theater. I told you, which theater you got to go to and whatnot. And so I'm working podium.
Okay.
And there's a guy that I had just trained working upstairs, and I knew he wasn't fully ready. And I told my manager that I was actually quite close with my manager, but not my general manager. My general manager actually did not like the manager that I was close with. And when I say I was close with my manager, I mean I had known my manager since I was 6 years old, and I'm working downstairs at Podium, and suddenly I get told that 3 of the theaters don't have sound, and our big IMAX theater, which is like our focal point, hasn't started yet.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm like, all right, shit. So I run upstairs, and I'm fixing everything, and I see the dude that's up there, and I'm like, hey, go cover Podium for me while I'm getting this done.
Mhm.
Well, this dude runs downstairs. I don't have a radio on me, which is how we typically all communicate throughout the theater. So I'm running around trying to get this all fixed, and suddenly I see my GM. Now, remember, the GM and I have a very off relationship.
Okay.
This dude does not like me. I have caused problems at this theater.
Like I said, you've caused problems.
Okay.
Not that.
It was a problem with another manager, and it's not fully my fault, but I will take blame for it because at this point I'm old enough to do so.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll talk about that here in a second. So I'm upstairs. I'm fixing all these theaters. I fixed like 4 of them. There's one more. I have to go start the IMAX. Well, I'm walking around the corner to hit the IMAX while my GM walks around the corner. He's like, I fixed all the other 4 theaters and blah, blah, blah. He's like, you came up here without a radio. And he started throwing shit at me. And he threw a clipboard at me. And I remember he threw a clipboard at me because it hit the wall behind me. And it made a dent, like, in the wall. Threw shit at me, man.
How old? Okay, what's the age difference?
This dude would have been older 40s.
And he was throwing a clipboard at you?
Yep.
Oh.
All because I forgot a radio to go upstairs.
I was trying to go off of, like, your cucumber story. But this one time, I found a vibrator in, when I worked at Planet Fitness. Oh, God. Nah, I don't care what you said. I worked at Planet Fitness. And there was this vibrator in one of the tanning rooms. And it was the standing one too. I don't know why, but that weirded me out even more.
Yeah,
that they were doing it standing.
Is a bit more
I mean,
weird.
I guess you could do it. I don't know. I'm not a woman. And we had to clean the rooms because like we have these we had these monthly like checkups from like the actual corporate Planet Fitness. And so they wanted to make sure everything was tidy. And so I'm cleaning this room, and there's this like, so we have the standing tanning bed, which is like our most popular one.
Right.
And behind it is like the electrical box,
Okay.
what like operates the thing.
Right.
And on top of it, case thing. And I was like, I thought it was like, I don't know, like it looked like a little vial. Like
Okay.
when I picked it up, I did not think this is a vibrator.
Right.
Because it was just this small little thing, and it had like, it looked like it had a screw cap on it. And
Okay.
so I screwed it, and then just it started going off. And what was even crazier was that later that day, I remembered that earlier that day, a couple snuck in there. There was one person that like, there was a couple that, or like a woman who signed up, did the whole process, and then went in. I like, nobody noticed that the dude went after her. Like, he waited a little bit, but then he went in after her.
Okay.
And the only way we could debunk that is because we noticed both of them walking out. And we didn't say anything.
Right.
But then I go to clean the shit, and there's a vibrator just sitting there. And who leaves their vibrator? You brought it there. Like, you snuck it in, sneak it out. Like, why are you keeping it there? Like, you gonna come back later today and
it's not even like it's that big or hard to sneak in, so I don't understand. Another story that has to do with a manager. I guess we're just doing what, horror stories at work today is our theme.
yeah, horse.
I mean, it's kind of true. Anyway, worked with this manager. Her name was Stephanie, which is not what her name was. So Stephanie was a very interesting character. Want to hear the first time I met Stephanie?
I'm ready to hear all about
'Kay.
Stephanie.
First time I met Stephanie, I had no clue that we had a new manager at the theater. And I was working podium again. And I had all of the 3D glasses in these boxes sitting next to me because I hadn't had the time to put them into these drawers next to podium like we're supposed to.
Yeah.
So I have these 3 boxes sitting next to me, and I'm dealing with customers. And as I'm dealing with customers, Stephanie walks up to me, and she goes, "You need to move these boxes right now, otherwise someone's going to trip over them." Now, mind you, I had no clue we had a new manager.
Okay.
So I thought some random lady was coming up and screaming at me. No clue who this lady was at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like, I'll get on that. Like,
Okay, yeah.
like, I don't know what else you want me to do.
Yeah.
Then she's like, you also need to clean the windows. Like, she pointed at the windows by the front door, and I'm like, I'll get someone on that. Like, thank you. Like, thanks for letting me know that they're that bad. I was just trying to be polite.
Yeah.
About an hour later, she walks back up to me, and I still haven't done the boxes yet because I've been too busy. So she's like, "Why haven't you done the boxes yet?" And I'm like, "I've just been busy, ma'am. Like, sorry." And she goes, "Oh, I guess we haven't been properly introduced. I'm your new manager." And I'm like, "You tell me this an hour after you just screamed at me to do something?" Like,
And how? Wait.
hang on. Then she wrote me up for insubordination for not doing the boxes. I had no clue this woman was my manager. Absolutely no idea. Because I had been on vacation the week she got hired.
Yeah.
No idea at all that this woman was my manager, and she wrote me up for insubordination.
So, and then she realized that you didn't know who she was. So she.
She knew.
No.
She knew. I had no clue who she was. So she knew that I was close with the other manager that I mentioned earlier.
And she wanted to be.
Right.
Yeah. She wanted to be a dick about it.
Because Stephanie, and we'll call my GM David. Okay. So David was really, really close with Stephanie at first. David and Stephanie both hated the manager that I was close with.
Okay.
So you see how this dynamic already
yeah.
kind of seems pretty rough.
Yeah.
So Stephanie stayed at the theater for a little while. Turns out Stephanie had worked at the theater like 10 years before.
Okay.
You know the company AMC, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the company Rave?
No.
Rave is what a lot of AMC, or not a lot of them, I guess there was only probably 20 of them in the entire United States.
Okay.
They're built as like, they're all built exactly the same.
Okay.
And they all have 18 screens with an IMAX. All the Raves are exactly the same. Those were all bought out by Carmike Theaters.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that company.
Yeah.
Okay, Carmike was bought out by AMC.
Okay.
Pretty recently, actually. I think it was 4 years ago or something. Something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty recent.
So she had worked there like 10 years before when it was originally a rave. She actually helped open the original theater.
Yeah.
This woman did everything she could in her power to get me written up every time she saw me.
Give me another written up story.
Okay. I was working floor staff, and I had just gotten in for my shift. Normally, whenever you get in, especially if you're coming in at the 3 o'clock shift, which is what I was, you are supposed to fill out a paper that has like all the numbers on it of how many people are in each theater seeing each movie, right?
Yeah.
That way you have an idea of how hard each theater is going to be to clean, and you're prepared for it. And you can put out like the big trash cans if you need to or whatever. Well, I was in the middle of getting my numbers, and the other members of floor staff left to go clean a theater. Stephanie was helping us on floor staff. So I didn't know they had left because I was distracted with getting my numbers. Mm-hmm. So I went to go find out where they were, and I got in there, and she goes, well, about time for you to show up. And I was like, you saw me show up. I was just getting my numbers. Like, I was just doing what I needed to do. So anyway, that turned into an argument, and then we had another employee say something. We'll call her Stacy. I don't remember what her actual name was. So Stacy was like, don't disrespect the managers to me. And I could tell she was just trying to be on the good side of Stephanie. Like, It was very clear that she was just trying to suck up type of thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of rebutted. I got a little upset, and I said I wasn't disrespecting her. You know, I just have my own things to do as an employee. I've worked here for years at this point. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know? And eventually, Stacy went to go tell another manager who was higher up than Stephanie.
Yeah.
Because Stephanie was technically a supervisor than she was a manager.
Yeah.
So she went to go tell an actual manager and basically told them that I told Stephanie to go fuck herself. Something I never said, way worse than what I actually said. So I just sat down with the two managers that were talking to me, and I just told them, I said, no, this is what happened. There's another employee that was there that has, like, who will tell you exactly what I said. I said, Stephanie's been trying to get me since I got here. She has already written me up once in the past.
Yeah.
She's just trying to get me. And they actually made it so that way I wasn't scheduled with her anymore, because chances are I would have gotten like 3 write-ups and eventually gotten fired. And I mean, I think I was a good employee there, but they might always say differently.
I mean, like, it just sounds, I don't know. I hate people who are like that. It seemed like she was power hungry. I don't get why she didn't like you. I get the hierarchy of what you're saying, of like the fact that you liked someone, like you were good friends with someone that she didn't like. I get that. But like also she just like, if you did your job and you were working, like I don't get why she had to be so butthurt and bitchy about it.
I'm cool with people not liking me typically. Like, it doesn't bother me if someone doesn't like me.
Yeah.
But this one was very weird because it was very not necessary.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems not necessary. That stuff pisses me off. Like, I hear stories about it of just, like, managers being dicks to their employees. And, like, I've taken marketing classes, took a supervising class, and, like, they tell you not to do that.
Right.
Like, it's not going to do anything to cause for your morale or your team's efficiency to go down. Mm-hmm. Like, you being a dick and you being mean to your employees and you writing them up, or you kind of setting a authority over them. Like, I get there has to be authority in the fact that, like, when I say something, kind of do it.
Right.
But, like, if you're going to be a dick about it, like, no. Like, that's not how you, first of all, that's not how you run a company.
Right.
And second of all, like, even if you're just a manager, that's not how you manage a group of people.
Right. You should lead those people.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to control those people.
Like, and I get that there are people that don't won't not agree, but more so won't do what you say, or they're lazy people. Mm-hmm. But like, if you're able to tell that out, just like get rid of them. Like, if you could see that and just like talk with them, and like, I mean, I feel like there's more. There's like you can have more evidence to see someone being lazy and shit like that over them just like, I don't know, you being a dick because they didn't do something, because if you were busy with something else, and then like, oh, go do this. If they, and it didn't like seem like she explicitly said, stop doing what you're doing to do this. Like
Right.
if she sees you doing something, like I feel like she should assume that whatever she told you is going to get done is going to get done after you finish literally what you're doing.
Especially whenever you're dealing with like a customer-based business, like a movie theater or any sort of retail, even especially. Customers should always come first in that situation.
Yeah.
And when they don't, I mean that's whenever you start to lose business.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that firsthand with other companies where they won't treat the clientele the way they should. I'll say this: they didn't treat the clientele with an adult manner.
Yeah.
One of the owners was a very childish person.
Yeah.
And they lost money because of it. They lost a lot of business because of it, and that's unfortunate. You know.
Okay, so when I worked for a landscaping like material company, this company was like crazy rich.
Mm-hmm.
They own like a bunch of property. Like that's why they were able to do this landscaping material place, is because they own property somewhere else and they own different farms.
Right.
And they had a son who was like, I'm guessing he was spoiled most of his life, or nobody really cared what he did, because this guy was, when I worked there, he was an older dude. He was like probably around in his 30s or his 40s at this point. So it's like his parents or his dad, who runs a business with his brother, were like also fairly like really old.
Right.
But this guy like did so many drugs, and like he had a hole in his throat because he smoked so much.
Okay.
But there was at points that he was on the job and he was like popping pills and drinking. Yeah. And like nobody liked him. Everyone hated when he was around the yard. Like he was a major douchebag. There was this one time that an employee, like he was a yard man like I was, but I don't even think he said anything to him. I think that the son was just being racist towards him, and that because he was I think he was Hispanic, and they get into this heated argument, and then the son just pops him in the face, just like punches him. That employee got like $30,000 from the company, so he wouldn't make a lawsuit. And this guy had a temper. There was one time they would hash it out with the. There was like a landscaping place next door, like a garden place next door. They would hash out with them. There was at one point that they have one of these like dump trucks, and he took and scooped up a bunch of snow during the winter, went over to this dude's car. The window was like the top sun window was open, and he poured all the snow into this guy's car.
Why?
I frankly don't even remember the reason. I just remember that they got into a heated argument, and this guy's reaction was, I'm going to go get that 70 over there, scoop up some snow, and pour it in your truck. And he did.
At least he was true to his word.
He was true to his word, but he's such a dick. I only talked to this guy like once, because after that incident, his dad was like, I don't want you around here anymore. Like, I'll pay you.
Good for the dad, though.
He still pays him, though.
I mean...
he still pays him to just not be around.
I mean, honestly, though, at least he knows that the son is detrimental to the business. He still has to take care of his kid. I get that.
I mean, I get that he still has to, but his kid has gone to the hospital so many times for drug-related things.
Right.
He has a hole in his neck from smoking so much. Don't get me wrong. Like, I smoke a few cigarettes now and then. Like, it is what it is. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like he's making the right decisions in life if he's popping pills all the time. When I mean all the time, I mean all the time. I still know somebody that works there. He quit the time I quit because he was going into HVAC, and then I don't know why, but he started working there again, where he's a manager now. But I want to like hit him up and just be like, yo, is your son still alive? Like, is he dead yet? Like, did he die from drug overdose yet? Because like it seems that the decisions he's making is going to lead to that.
So we're both gamers.
Yeah.
We both enjoy sitting and playing video games. Did you see Xbox's new announcement today?
No, I didn't know what they said.
The Xbox Series S is a smaller version of the Xbox Series X that's coming out. rumored to drop at $299.
$299.
Right. And 1440p, 120 frames a second, they're claiming.
Damn.
Right.
And they're only selling it for $300.
That's the rumor. We haven't had any official price.
Yeah, because it says Microsoft confirms $299 Xbox Series.
Oh, did they actually officially confirm it?
It says 14 hours ago.
Nice. So yeah, $300 for an actually decent next gen Xbox. I mean, I'm gonna get the big one.
And it says coming November 10th.
Right.
Company revealed new trailer later the day. Oh, so later today they should be.
No, there's actually already a trailer for it.
Okay, so then they probably announced this. Oh yeah, they announced this they announced this at 3:28 a.m.
Oh.
And then yeah. This is so cool. I'll watch it. Series X is selling for like $500.
They haven't officially announced the series.
Well, it says
rumor has it could be up to 600.
Yeah, because it's up here. It says like the Series X is like selling for $499 because it says it's announced. I'm guessing they might be changing it. But
Right.
they say it's gonna be. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be. If you say it's gonna be more at like 600, then maybe. But so I'm guessing they might be doing like at 5.
Last I knew, there was no official price said yet, but a lot of rumors were saying $499 for the Series X. But honestly, dude, $299 for a decent console. It's an all digital console. They said not a bad price point for that, especially as like an entry level console. I can't remember if they said it was more powerful than the Xbox One X or the Xbox One S, but regardless, it's gonna play next gen games.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I think it's definitely a good marketing side on Xbox things.
It says the smallest Xbox ever.
Yep.
Dude, compared to the controller, wow.
Yep.
It's really small.
I think, like I said, marketing wise, it's a genius move on Xbox side because, I mean, realistically, Microsoft's only goal anymore is to get you to buy their subscription service.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty much.
We all saw the Halo Infinite reveal.
Yeah.
They clearly don't care about the quality anymore of the games.
See, that's what it's upsetting me. Cause dude, I'm playing on my PC, the new PC that I got.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been playing the new Halo, or not the new one, but I've been playing Halo Reach on there. The story.
Oh, Halo Reach is one of the better ones.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, I just love playing it, and the fact that I just hope that maybe the gameplay is better than I guess graphics, because that was the whole big thing, is that like one of the enemies, what are they called?
I think they dubbed it Craig.
Craig,
on the internet.
Yeah, they dubbed him Craig. Craig looks like, I don't know, he just looks like, it doesn't look good. There doesn't look like there's any depth in the face.
It looks like
it though. Yeah, so they might be fixing it.
Right.
So
and I mean, I know we're gonna get games like Cyberpunk, which I'm super excited about.
Keanu
Avengers
Reeves
just dropped, which I've been having a blast with. I was actually gonna bring it up earlier, but just decided not to. Great multiplayer experience.
With Avengers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they had. I thought it was gonna be like.
No, it's fully multiplayer.
That's so cool.
Like everything about
So,
it.
like-
There is a single player campaign, but you can play a lot of the missions in it as multiplayer.
So like, is there like online play too? What do you do with online?
So basically, did you ever play any Destiny?
No, but I know I do know
It's kind of like that, but with Marvel characters. You get gear for each character, and you go on different missions with other players, essentially.
Okay, so it's like co-op online.
Yeah, it's definitely a looter game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so like the new what was it? Actually, no, it wouldn't be the new, because I was thinking also of the newest Mortal Kombat, where you said that there was a lot of like not looting, but like there wasn't like a stage.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest difference between that is the new Mortal Kombat was very much focused on cosmetics.
Okay.
These are actually, none of the gear change your cosmetics, but they all change your stats.
Okay, so it enhances gear.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of really cool abilities you can get with the gear, and Hulk has one, I think, where like every time he finishes a light combo, he has a 23% chance to start an explosion that like explodes around him. Yeah, dude, there's some cool gear stuff. There's just some really cool missions. The The story has been really well written so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I'm probably 50 to 60% through the campaign. It actually has like a meter that shows you or tells you.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, so far I'd easily give it probably an 8 to 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And that's before I've completed it because you also can't get into, or you can, but if you do a lot of the multiplayer stuff, like a lot of the hardcore multiplayer stuff, it spoils the story. So they actually tell you not to do it until you finish the campaign. So I haven't done a lot of like the late game stuff. I'm hoping it's all good though. I mean, it seems like they've definitely, one thing it seems like they've done really well so far is they know that a lot of casual players are going to pick up this game.
Yeah.
Because it's Avengers. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone wants to play through the new Iron Man story.
Oh, of course.
But they made the game extremely, extremely simple, which is good.
Okay.
Because
like the gameplay.
the gameplay, yeah, because okay, it's literally just pressing X and Y to attack things, and then you have your abilities, your character abilities on different buttons.
Okay.
But they've also added enough into it where I can tell it's going to be very complex because the skill trees for each character are very complex.
Okay.
The learning curve with the combat, for instance, yeah, you can just mash X all day and probably win, especially on normal difficulty. Whenever you go up to the higher difficulty stuff, though, like you can tell it's very much going to be a game of parrying the other person, attacking them, waiting for them to try to hit you again, parrying, dodging. You have to actually know the combat system. So they did a very good job of approaching the game as a casual game, but also giving enough things that 4 or 5 years down the road, they're still going to have players playing this whenever the new characters come out, because they said they're going to update this for a long time. So, and they already announced that like Black Panther's coming. They said that Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are coming, and then I've heard rumors that Captain Marvel's going to be in it too. Spider-Man's on the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah.
Only though.
That's because Sony has the rights to Spider-Man.
But yeah, they've said a lot about it. It's a lot of fun. The new Tony Hawk game came out. So.
The Tony Hawk game?
Right, dude, it's been a blast.
Oh, you've played it?
Yeah. Well, you got to think, man. I mean, I game share with my dad, and so he grew up playing a lot of video games, and so he actually picks a lot of them up. We actually split our games, so I'll buy one and then he'll buy one. So that's how I stay up on a lot of the modern games. It's because I'm not actually buying them all, which is nice.
Gold digger.
Hey, I don't care.
Like, I just got, with the new PC, I just got, like, the Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm downloading this game called Metro that I'm really excited to play. I guess it's, like, this apocalypse game where people just ran underground.
Right. I never got into those games. Never cared for the gameplay of them. But that was just a personal thing. Hunter, our old buddy, really liked them. But I never got into them. I just never enjoyed the gameplay. It just wasn't for me. Like, I don't remember it very well. It's been a long time, so I won't go into depth with it because I don't want to give any wrong information. But I just remember not caring for it.
Okay. Because I was looking through, with the Game Pass, I was just looking through a bunch of games just to see what I can kind of download that I can start kind of playing. And I mean, especially if we want to start streaming, I want to have games that I can play and stream that are fun. Like, I want to do a couple horror games. I definitely want to do those jump scares. Those are fun games. Outlast, that's definitely a big one.
Kind of hitting our time right now.
We're definitely in our time.
So, great talking to you guys.
My name's Alex.
My name is Sid. Streaming, we are currently a little inconsistent with it. We are working on getting the necessary requirements for us to do it. I am trying to stream on my Xbox currently. I know Kenny is. Are you?
I just got my PC, so I'm going to be streaming off of that. I'm more than likely going to start streaming in 2 weeks because I'm still waiting for my 2 hyper RAMs to come in so that I can be able to play COD on my computer and then I'd be able to stream. because I think the only problem with my streaming and why it was slow is because I was going off of Wi-Fi, and I also looked up a couple things to kind of clean my computer so that it runs a little faster and runs better. But I hardwired it, so I used an Ether cable, so I should be fine. I've been doing like some test runs, some test streams, but those I really don't advertise because I'm just testing out my stuff to see if it works. My streaming schedule will be Tuesday nights and Thursday nights.
Okay. I think I was gonna do Tuesday and Fridays was my plan. I think Tuesdays are we playing together. Is the
me
plan?
and Sid are gonna stream, but we're gonna play COD together or whatever we play together because we play like a Rainbow Six or something like that.
It could be anything. I mean, it could be a dumb joking game that him and I play.
Dude, we should play the what is it? The cannoli game. What is it?
Oh, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli.
Yes, we should. I think it's on Game Pass. So I think I can.
Is,
yeah, I can totally download it and we'll play that. We gotta play that for one.
So that's the plan for our future media. The podcast will be, I think we said either weekly or bi-weekly.
Yeah, I wanna try to do weekly, and then I'll drop it every Friday. Yeah, I'll drop it every Friday, and then that'll give me time to do what I have to do with it. But Friday around like 5 or 6 in the afternoon is when I'll drop them. I'll be doing it. So for a start off, this will be on YouTube when it's dropped. It'll probably be consistently on YouTube.
Twitch names. Mine is LilSid3377. That will probably be changing soon, but we'll see. That's LILSID 3377.
My stream name is gonna be Happy Rogue Trip. So it's HAPPYROGUE and then TRIP. And
cool.
That's it. We'll talk to you guys next Friday.